Oh, yeah. And now, from North Platte High School Studio B, welcome to Bulldog Banter.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bulldog Banter. I'm Maddie Hildebrand.
I'm Reagan Lampy.
And this is the podcast where we talk about all things North Platte.
And do fun stuff.
Today, we're here with Student Council Advisor and Teacher, Mr. Bruck.
Hi.
We're going to talk about all Student Council's events upcoming this year and next year.
So the one that's coming up this weekend, actually, is the Make-A-Wish 5K. So do you want to tell us about that, Mr. Bruck?
Mm-hmm. So it's a pretty big event. It's been going on. I think this is might be the 10th annual. So this is like my fourth or fifth year. So it was going on before I came on board as advisor. The main goal is to try to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation for the state of Nebraska, which then contributes to the National Make-A-Wish Foundation. And not only that, but it's the first race in the Platte River Fitness Series. So they do a string of marathons and 5Ks throughout the year. And so we kicked that off. So it's kind of exciting. And we try to get as many sponsors as we can. And then with the sponsorships and the race day participants, all that money that it is generated then goes to Make-A-Wish.
I remember when I was little, going to the 5K. I obviously didn't run, but I remember doing it. I had a red shirt that had Christmas lights around it. Somewhere. No, you wore it. I know you have. I know what you're talking. We'll look at it later. Anyways.
Okay. Anyway, what would you say is a good turnout for it?
So as of now, I just finished registration as up today, and we have 105 running. That beats last year by 6, and we're not even to Saturday yet. And we'll get people that show up on the day of to register. We have something that I forgot to mention. Not only do we have the 5K, but we also have the Children's Mile. And then Reagan's comment about her being young reminded me of that. So that's kind of a cool thing, too. And so we have asked all fourth graders across the district to decorate a luminary bag, like a lunch bag, but it's white. And then we put some sand in the bottom with a little candle in it. And then we line the entire Children's Mile with all of those luminary bags. And so race starts at, 7:15, something like that for the Children's Mile. And so it's getting kind of, it's at dusk, and they all have their glow-in-the-dark bracelets and their necklaces, and they get to run that mile that's outlined by the luminary bags. It's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
So what's the first, big event to start the school year next year?
That'll be the golf tournament.
Right.
And so we do the golf tournament typically in July. All that money that we raise, kind of the same process, then goes towards the Royal Family Kids Camp just outside of town. They have their camp at Lake Maranatha, or Camp Maranatha, I should say. And so we usually raised $4,000 last July. And so that's kind of a cool thing because we pay for some kids' opportunity at the camp. So it's awesome.
What would you say is the most rewarding part of being a part of the North Platte Student Council?
I'd say it's a toss-up between two. They're not really related. One would be just the relationships that you build with student council members, and hopefully they're on board for 4 years, so you get to see them kind of grow and come into their own by their senior year. A lot of the times they start out as kind of a shy freshmen. They don't know their place yet. They don't know where they fit in, that kind of thing. And then by their senior year, they're this confident young senior that it really has come into their own, and so it's really neat to kind of see that development. I would also say then one of my favorite things about Student Council Advisor is the canned food drive that we hold in November, and that just does so much for our community, does so much for the families in need right before Christmas, and it's a great opportunity for the student body to make a difference in our community.
Definitely.
Yeah, so if people watching, if you didn't know, me and Reagan are on student council. So we did get to do all that stuff, and it's a lot of fun. So if you're,
It is very rewarding to get to help people constantly.
yeah, even though the canned food drive was like so long, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that was the longest day of my life. But it was so much fun. Like I had a lot more fun than I was expecting. But yeah, so if you're like, you know, in 8th grade and you're thinking you want to go on student council, or even because me and Reagan both joined this year and we're juniors, and it's still a lot of fun. So no matter what grade you are, you can always join in.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the process
Yeah.
of like being
that's-
a part of student
'cause that's
council
coming
for
up,
next year?
Yeah, so for incoming freshmen, their elections are held in like April. So by the time that we have our elections take place here at the high school, theirs is either during the same week or have already been done. So that's Mrs. Schlager. So she handles that at Adams. And I'm looking for around 7 freshmen. But then for everyone else that's at the high school, we'll have a general representative elections that will be held in April, and there'll be announcements, and there'll be a packet of information and some things that you're going to have to fill out and to turn in. And there are some stipulations, but it's a pretty good deal. And then we'll hold elections. Students, the entire student body will get to vote. Teachers will get to vote. So yeah, and then our officer elections, those are coming up before general membership to student council representatives, and that'll take place in the first week or two, probably the first week of February or April.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say.
So do you want to explain like what the duties of each of the what did you just say?
Officers.
Officers, yes.
Yes.
Oh, got to pull out your phone. You don't know by your
By heart, no.
Bruck.
Well, there's so many.
There is a
Uh-uh.
lot.
Yeah, there's gobs.
There's like 6
That's a word that everyone needs to start using more often.
gobs.
Gobs.
Definition is lots of something.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Well,
All right.
the more
So
you know.
for president, some of the responsibilities that they'll have to do. So presiding over meetings of the student council, request an officer meeting anytime they want to get all officers together. They're the one to do that. They'll supervise the functions of the elected student body officers. They'll fill in any position or role, blah, blah, blah. They're kind of the big thing is their role that they play in the 5K Make-A-Wish, and then the Royal Kids Camp Golf Tournament. So they're kind of in charge of that. And then they also had the annual canned food drive. So vice president, they're kind of in charge of anything that the president can't do, or if they're absent that day, vice president fills in. They assist the president in the canned food drive. So really, they're the president, but just vice president.
Tuesday was vice president this year, right?
True.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. Secretary, it's kind of a bigger role, even though it's not the president or vice president, but like they're taking attendance at all student council events, which can be kind of stressful. They work with the historian for flyers, posters, that all created. They will also lead and plan our 2 dances, which are Morp and Snowball. And again, they attend all officer meetings if there are any. Historian, they're the ones who coordinate fundraising projects for the student body. They need to be familiar with student council constitution as far as parliamentary procedures, things of that nature. They use social media, keep records, keep track of stuff. They work with the secretary for all our social media and flyers. And then there's Sergeant at Arms. So they are the ones who organize the bonding events that we have, which I wish we would do more.
Yeah.
And then they handle membership relations and assist the members with their concerns and questions. If there's a dispute between 2 members, it shouldn't come straight to me. We have an officer for that, which most kids get along, so it's not a big deal. And then we have a reporter, which is now going to be an officer position this year instead of a role. There was a difference. And the reporter is going to be the voice of student council. And so they're the ones doing the dynamite drop-ins in the morning, answering any kind of interview questions that the Bulldogger might have, things of that nature. So They're in charge of reporting publishing events, meetings, dates, all that good stuff. They work closely with the historian.
What's the one that we got rid of this year? Or that, we're getting
That
rid
was
of?
the school board representative.
Okay.
because
Who was that this
Sawyer.
year? That's what I thought.
But I don't know if she ever actually made it to any of the meetings.
Oh.
And so we just thought that maybe we would do away with that position
Yeah.
and focus on more what's we can control.
Yeah, I'm excited for next year.
Me too. I'm also excited. What has been the most rewarding part out of all your years of being a student council advisor? Like, even like your favorite memory, like anything that has just stuck out to you that you'll always remember.
I would say the first time that we handed Royal Family Kids Camp kind of a check or let them know that they weren't expecting anywhere near that. And we were in the $3,000 or $4,000 range. And then just her face and the shock and gratitude and realizing how much that was going to benefit her her organization. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What made you decide to want to become the advisor?
So Mrs. Workmeister was stepping down due to, a larger family and having kids and stuff like that and getting busy. And so I started just thinking about it. And I was like, well, is that something I want to do? And then I kind of slept on it for a day or two, and I decided that would be fun. Get to work with some great kids and do some awesome things. And so I put my name in the hat, and I got it. And Mrs. Workmeister was a great mentor first year or two as far as kind of continuing on the student council tradition. And then once I kind of got my feet wet after a year or two, then I kind of started making things my own and changing some things, getting rid of some things, and adding some things. So,
What's your favorite event?
I would have to say, and maybe because we just changed it, but Snowball was real fun this year. As we had, typically I don't like putting on dances, especially Morp, but we added the Snowball Royal Court, and so that was kind of fun. Just got to handle that and get that organized and bring that back after 12 or 15 years of it being gone from kind of North Platte tradition, because we used to have it going back from 96 to 2012 or somewhere in there. They got rid of it. Then for 2025, we brought that back, and hopefully we make that a lasting tradition once again.
Yeah, I'm glad we did that this
Me
year.
too. I really enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the winter pep rally. I just thought it was really cool to see all the people. And I don't know, it's just so fun, announcing the people at the dance too.
Yeah, okay, I know that we were thinking about what to change about that, but I loved it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot, except I also ran right to the front.
Yeah, so the people in the back probably suck.
First off, I'll invite parents. I didn't, as far as they want
Oh
to
yeah,
take pictures.
because my parents probably wish they would have been there.
Yeah. And then I want to announce and have them on top by the counselor's office overlooking the commons.
Yeah.
And then they can come down the stairs, and then they can kind of walk down through a tunnel, if you will, of students to the front, where they can then be announced or crowned or whatever we're going to do. So we'll change it up just a tad bit next year, but a little bit more organized. But
Yeah.
I thought it was really fun.
And
this
I'm
year.
glad that we got people involved this year, because I feel like it's gonna make people
we
want
were
to do it next year.
recruiting.
Yeah,
Me
I know.
and Maddie were running
Yep.
everywhere collecting people.
it was good.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was very fun.
What advice do you have for people that want to join student council?
Put yourself out there. It's definitely an organization where we impact both the student body and the community. And if you want to be a part of something like that, throw your name in the hat. The worst thing that can happen is you don't make it. Big deal. We move on to something else, or
Try again next year.
Yep, try again next year. And, one of the things about student council this upcoming year, as I kind of talked about in the meeting this morning, is we are going from 40 down to, back down to 32 or 34, somewhere in there.
I know, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
That is kind of scary.
And we always have, obviously, the same kids that run. Some won't. I think there'll be some that this wasn't for me. But then we always have a gob of kids. See, there's that word gob.
Yeah, God.
A gob of kids that want to try it their junior year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Like us.
so we always get some new names in the hat. And, the student vote is pretty powerful, because obviously that's upwards of 1,100 students that are voting. But what a lot of people don't know is that teachers get a vote. Well, their vote is worth 2. So for every teacher's vote, that's really 2 students' vote.
Yeah.
And then I get a vote, and it's weighted. So my vote for each grade is 20. It's worth 20 votes. So
How many students do you usually have vote? Like out of,
What,
I'm
run?
sure not like vote, like fill out. Isn't it a Google form?
Yeah.
yeah,
Because like
it's not as many as I would like it to be.
Yeah, I
there's
know.
no way that everyone's looking at that.
I went around and was telling everybody. I'm like, everybody go vote for student council.
Let me pull it up here. I can take a peek.
I know. I just wish that there was something that we could like do that would make kids fill out things more often.
Look at their emails, maybe.
Yes.
Like nobody ever wants to fill out a form. But then again, like we give things to like Bulldog time teachers, and there's like kids who are in Bulldog time or the teachers
Yeah.
that don't do it. I just wish there was something that we could find that would be like sufficient for that stuff.
Like when everybody's walking out the doors, you hand them it.
Of course, I need permission, even though it's my own document. It's usually like a fraction
Oh.
of. It's not that much.
Yeah.
So that's why I always tell people that are running, put your name out there.
Yeah, go
Get people to
advocate.
vote. Yeah, advocate for yourself and have your friends vote. Do whatever it is, and that's why I think sometimes people assume it's like a popularity contest.
Yeah.
But the way it's structured, as far as teacher vote, my vote, student body vote, it kind of levels the playing field a little bit.
Agreed. Yeah, there's a wide variety of kids on student council. It's so much fun.
It is a lot of fun.
And that's another great thing is you get groups that probably wouldn't hang out with each other
Yeah.
to actually work together and create those friendships and those bonds that might carry on past high school. So
Well, and another thing is like, I feel like I've met a lot of people and like talked to a lot of people and like been more comfortable being like, hey, I'm with North Platte Student Council and like going into
Yeah.
businesses and stuff.
That's
Like
true,
I'm
too.
learning social skills
there
too.
you go. Because, you're extremely awkward. And
Yeah.
I try my best.
Yeah. Also, like, I feel like all the kids that are on student council are super responsible too. Like, I don't know. Like, we always get stuff done way faster than you think we would. Like, I don't know how many like that you could get a group of like 40 teenagers and they would get the stuff done like we do.
it all hinges on your officers.
Yeah.
That is
the
very
leadership
true.
that we have, and the respect that members have for their officers. Whether it's working a work night like we're going to have this week, or working an event or at a meeting, kids are always respectful of their officers, and that goes a long way.
All right.
One more question.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit more about what you do besides student council.
Well, football in the fall, so that'll typically start in July, and hopefully goes to November, but usually at the end of October. Then, but I got student council during that time.
Yeah.
So we might have some help in a sense that the St. Pat's advisor is coming to teach at the high school
I
here.
saw that. I was wondering how that was going to work.
And she wants to still stay connected to NASC, which is Nebraska Association of Student Council. She's going to end up taking over for Kyrie Neals. Well, I think that's the plan. But Kyrie's like head of the NASC.
Oh, really?
And so Misty now doesn't have student council.
Oh.
So she still wants to stay connected. And so I said, well, if I ever need a second pair of hands as far as an adult goes, or maybe a look at this. And so she'll be kind of in I wouldn't say an assistant role, but just another pair of eyes. If I ever have any, if I need some help or if I have a question or something, I can always refer to Misty. That way she can kind of stay engaged
Yeah.
in the student council world, so she can still be part of that NASC.
Wait, so is she becoming a teacher here?
Yeah.
Do you know what teachers?
Doesn't she teaches English?
English maybe?
Yeah. But I bet you 11 because we only have one like actual 11.
Yeah, I'm not sure how
Advanced.
it's all going to shake out.
Yeah, of course, the year after we leave.
Yeah.
Goodness. I swear our grade always gets a bad hand with everything.
Yeah. Well, all the other English teachers teach like every single English teacher is teaching one 11th grade class.
Yeah.
That's kind of insane.
Well, except for work. Wait,
no, she is.
she's teaching 11th too?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Anyways, this is all besides the point. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, does Corey get to say anything, or should he get to sit over here and she's like a mute?
Her camera's not on.
Oh,
Hey, you can still talk. Turn up your mic. Just say hello.
Hello.
no. Now it's ruined.
Corey's running the board for the first
Yeah.
time, guys. She's doing great.
It's CORY, right?
No. I thought you were being serious.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
thank you so much for joining us today. If you're interested in student council, do the stuff.
Yeah, I hope gobs of people listen to this
Yeah.
podcast.
Gobs of people.
Yeah. And if you want to do the 5K, do the 5K.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, you can register up until the day of.
Yes,
The
and-
only exception to that is if you're involved in a spring sport like track. That is a no.
Really?
Yeah, your coaches are not going to be happy if you sign up for the 5K and get hurt during the 5K for whatever unforeseen reason, and then you're out for track. That's not a good thing.
Poor Corey.
So,
She really wanted to do it. She's like, guys, will you please run it with me?
yeah.
wanted to run it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that with her. I would have walked
Oh,
it.
because cross country. So that would be another sport. Except your coach does it, doesn't he?
I bet he does.
I don't think you're allowed to if you're in this.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That was something that we kind of just set up. And as a fellow coach, that's something
Yeah.
I agree with as
Yeah.
well. No reason in putting yourself in a position to get hurt that might jeopardize your season.
Yeah.
So,
Especially when Corey's going to be there anyway.
yeah,
So.
right.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
All right. Peace out, Brussels sprouts.
Bye. Bye. Bulldog Banter. Also, bye.